Hundreds of anti-government protesters in Brazil have staged a demonstration against racism and also against the country's president Jair Bolsonaro over his handling of the coronavirus. Last week, Brazil's death toll overtook Italy's, and in the next few days it is expected to overtake the UK's as well and become the second highest in the world. As Katie Watson reports from Sao Paulo, the Brazilian government has been accused of trying to hide the true numbers.
Black lives matter in Brazil too. But here, President Jair Bolsonaro's handling of coronavirus is also enraging protesters. A leader, they say, who's threatening the country's democracy. In the past week alone, 150,000 people have caught COVID-19 and 7,000 have died. But that's information the government doesn't want people to know. It's wiped those figures from its website because it says they're manipulated. Behind those numbers, though, are real people. Patients and health workers on the front line, trying to control a virus that's still spreading. It's like a snowball, Helio says. The cases keep rising, people get infected. This never ends.
We received the death certificate.
Carini is also on the front line, receiving death registers in Sao Paulo. Half of the names in this book, she says, were COVID-19 related deaths, and far more people than usual have died from respiratory problems too. Many people put that down to underreporting the real coronavirus figures.
I'm feeling like a soldier in a war. I need to receive the information. I need to have a good eyes and smile to make my public service. What I'm feeling that everybody's very, very worried about the disease.
Brazil only tests around 5% of what most of Europe does. The country's struggled on many fronts. Part of the problem's logistics. The labs are in the south, and safely transporting tests from areas such as the Amazon isn't always successful. Many tests have been ruined. But the government has also made bad choices.
In February, March, for example, there is a huge flood of Chinese tests arriving in Brazil. And 9 of the 11 were completely garbage. The government just didn't do anything. They just bought the kits and distributed that. They think, well, it's better to test with these kits instead of doing nothing. But that's not true.
In this affluent part of Sao Paulo, the local government's trying something different. It wants to get a third of the population tested.
About 600 cars are coming through every day. People are getting their details checked. Only those who work or live in the city can get the test done. And that takes place over here. Now, the idea is the local government wants to get an idea of how far along the curve it is, how big a problem it is in this part of the city. But doctors here are feeling deflated. With a president who's failing to lead this country through a worsening crisis, they feel undervalued.
I
think this is still the country of football. I have nothing against football, far from it. But education and health, which need to be prioritized, are not.
On the ground, healthcare workers keep going to battle against coronavirus. But the battle against censorship has only just begun. Katie Watson, BBC News in Sao Paulo.